Guess who's back? I know they give any dummy a camera. The question comes in, is there a benefit to using your yarn ball from the center versus the exterior? Now, you probably have an opinion on that, and you can leave me a comment, and that's coming up next. You know, I really don't like the lighting in here. Kind of highlights some shadows. So I'll stand like this, and that's coming up next.
Welcome to my channel, and I'm here to inspire you, give you crochet advice, and help you along with your next project.
So personally, I'm an innie. Are you an outie or an innie? So I like to use my yarn balls from the center. Let's just see in behind here. So if you look at all my collection of balls, you'll notice that everything is deflated because I pull from the center. And the reason for it is that my mom told me to. So there you go. So that's as good as it's going to get for the reason. But it actually made a lot of sense because my mom would sit there and crochet and knit for charity, and the ball would sit on the or on a side table beside her chair, and it would feed into her hands. And once you get the looseness of your ball worked out, it just slides out like butter. So if you really look at my yarn collection, you see that there's a lot of deflated balls. So in my past, I would not have really complained about, there's only one brand I complain about, that it's hard to get the center out, and that's Bernat Blanket. So any hoo-hoo for that. So I find that one's kind of hard to get the yarn out because it's so wound, so tight, but you know, it's such a great yarn. So it's one of those things that you just got to put up with it, right? So, but then they ended up coming up with a solution, and they came up with Bernat Blanket Ogo. So instead of having to fight to get to the center, they came up with a solution so that you can go with the end. But I am still the type of guy that I pull from the center. So even though they came up with the idea coming from the end, I am still one of those people that I like to go from the center. The reason for it is that I can pull on this thing and the Ogo does not like jump around on my table. So you have the benefits of people that want to start right away that like the exterior, but for those that like the interior, you can have the best of two worlds. Makes me happy. So the other thing that I think about, because, you know, I have no life and I love yarn, and I don't see a problem with that. You can give me a like for that. God, talk about begging for likes. It's so pathetic. So another reason why I like to take my balls from the center is that my mom taught me to put the yarn at the height of my hands. So if I was to stand here and crochet, which I really don't have a purpose to it, but I'd want to grab the yarn and the yarn be at the same height as my hand. So it's just coming across in a straight line and into my hand. If the ball was like jumping around like a jackrabbit and even in a bowl and stuff, I would find that I would constantly fight with it. So usually when you start a ball of yarn, you kind of fight with it to get the tension out. But as soon as you get that interior hole opened up a little bit, the yarn just kind of pops out really quite easily through on the center. Some of you agree, some of you disagree. It doesn't matter. That's my experience. And so I find that if the ball is at the same height and it's coming from the interior, the stitch work that I have is a lot more consistent. One of the things that I struggle with when I make tutorials is that sometimes I crack open new balls right before filming. And so if you ever really notice some of the tutorials, you'll see that me clipping away. You'll see that there's a sudden jump in the video. And that's me trying to fight with my ball in order to get the tension out so that I can just crochet quite smoothly. But I find as a crocheter that you can just really crochet yards and yards and yards of yarn. And even if you have like that big yarn bark that pops out, they call it, then you could just suddenly crochet that in. And sometimes it tangles, most times for me it doesn't. So that's not something I even worry about. So does this vase look like it cares whether you go from the outside of the ball or the interior? No, I don't even care. Do what you want. You know, creativity is your own experience. You are the artist. You have to do it the way that you prefer. So even if I tell you you should use it for the interior of the ball, who am I to tell you that? You know, if you feel it's better to go the other way around. If I have a ball that I'm fighting with that I cannot get my fingers to get the center out, I will literally put it in a salad bowl, and then I will put it off so that it's just rotating around inside the salad bowl. The less tension that you have coming out of the yarn ball, the better off the stitch that your stitch work will be a lot more consistent. But again, it's your creativity. That is my experience. And so the question became, is there a benefit from going from the interior to the exterior? For me, yes. For somebody else, probably not, but you have to decide what works for you. Try it, see what you like. Leave me a comment. Are you an innie or an outie? And I'll see you again next time. It's Mikey from the Crochet Crowd right here in this really messy but fun, fabulous studio today. We'll see you.